Am I the asshole for not knowing my girlfriend wanted to be 30 minutes early to yoga? For context, my girlfriend is getting her yoga certifications and is hosting a free class for the public today, so the night before I went to bed understanding that we just had to be there before 10 a.m. so I went on a morning walk with my buddy, who just had a baby, to grab a coffee and stroll his daughter around. I left the house at 8:30 a.m. dressed ready for yoga so we could leave when I got back. Come 9:20 she's starting to text me and I can notice she's starting to freak out and asking where I am at, but I was confused because I knew I had enough time to get back home and drive to the studio. I start rushing back home, but I get texts on the walk back saying stuff like, "How could you do this to me? I'm so stressed out," and other things of the sort, but get back at 9:35-ish to hop in the car and go. While on the car ride she's crying and saying stuff like, "Why can't you think? This is like a job interview. I needed to be there 30 minutes early," and that I'm throwing her teaching rhythm off. But I had no idea she needed any of that and says I need to be assumptive of her needs while she framed this as a casual yoga event. I was also thrown off since I didn't start the class until 11:45 and she had to be there earlier, so the ask of just getting there before 10 seemed like that already allotted for the prep time she'd need beforehand. We get there at 9:50 and she is still crying and asking, "Why can't you just think?" And I tell her that I really had no idea of the additional requirements and really have no idea what to say because I got us there before 10. All I could say is we're going in a loop and wasting time since the argument goes in the same direction and we should focus on being here and moving on for now so we could get her yoga done and revisit it after she's done. I started feeling like an asshole when she wanted my support to get her back in the groove but would also ask why I was the victim, and I told her that I really don't feel like I did anything wrong since she never specified that this was a critical class and never mentioned that she wanted to be extra early since she had the chance to let me know the night before and right before my walk to give me proper times and expectations. I feel since I got us there before 10 she's overreacting. I just don't know how to proceed or what to say when I see her later in class and when I come back to pick her up. IDK, you had to rush to get her there at 9:50. What time would you haven't gotten there if she hadn't rushed you? If I were nervous about something super important to me, I'd want to be early to set up and center myself. I think you just added extra stress on a day that was already a lot emotionally. Either way, communicating about these kinds of expectations helps so next time you know to ask how early. And she knows to communicate that to you. Neither is Ta unless it keeps happening over and over. She shovels communicated better, but making a casual plan immediately before a necessary event does cause extra pressure and stress. You rushed home and made it there by 9:50. If you hadn't rushed or if she hadn't rushed you, I don't see how you would have even made the agreed upon time of before 10 inches. Did other commenters take crazy pills? Not the asshole. If she needed to be there by 9:30, she should have told you that she needed to be there by 9:30. And you shouldn't have to assume anything, she needs to tell you. She comes off as entitled. I'd say you asshole. It sounds like this place was a 15-20 minute drive away, and considering that if you're the teacher you have to show up early, you should have known that. Any yoga class that I've gone to, I get there 10-15 minutes early and the instructor is already there. Her showing up when the students are showing up is already off to a bad start. Especially since you knew that she had to be there before 10 a.m. Before 10 a.m., in job lingo, is not 9:50. It sounds like if she hadn't rushed you, you probably would have gotten there at 10 exactly or later. Op needs to work on better time management. Not the asshole. The night before I went to bed understanding that we just had to be there before 10 a.m. She didn't tell you that she wanted to be there 30 minutes early. So how were you to know? She says I need to be assumptive of her needs while she framed this as a casual yoga event. So basically expecting you to be able to read her mind. She needs to take responsibility for communicating her needs clearly, especially for something that was this important to her. I think you need to find a way to say that. And I don't suppose it will help any, so you can't say, but this really wasn't your fault. Assuming your girlfriend doesn't have a car, and that's why she has to rely on you to take her places, pick her up, I'm in the same boat. However, when I do have something important the next morning, I'm always sure to tell my boyfriend so I can get there when I need to be, want to, and because I definitely stress myself out with time. You say you didn't know that it was a critical class, but you knew she was the one hosting it and trying to get certification, so it wouldn't be crazy to say all of the classes she does are important. If she wants to get there way before the start time, who cares? It's her class, no questions asked, but she needs to tell you. Not the asshole, but I definitely think it would be beneficial to sit down and have a conversation about communicating these specific needs. Am I the asshole for not going to my coworker's birthday party? Throwaway for privacy. Edit. Update posted at the bottom. So I, 24F, work at a high school with my coworkers Carrie, 29F, Leslie, 26F, and Marissa, 30F. All of us get along well, we eat lunch together every day and go out for drinks to de-stress from work lol. Leslie and Marissa are a lot closer to Carrie than I am. For context. 2 weeks ago, Carrie made a group chat with our coworkers for her 29th birthday party, but I wasn't included. I didn't know until Leslie asked me what present I was buying for Carrie. When I told Leslie that I didn't know about the party, she asked me if I was arguing with Carrie. Honestly, I wasn't mad about not being invited. Me and Carrie aren't that close, and she can choose whoever she wants as her birthday guests. Leslie told me the date in place of Carrie's party, but I didn't plan to go because I don't want to be rude and come uninvited. Last Saturday was Carrie's birthday. I sent her a happy birthday message and hope that she enjoys her day. Carrie said thank you, and we had a small conversation about her plans. I didn't get an invite from her, so I decided to stay home. On Sunday, I got some text messages from Marissa that went like this. Marissa. Hey, why didn't you go to Carrie's b-day party last night? Me. Oh, I'm not in her group chat, so I thought that I wasn't invited. Marissa. Didn't Leslie tell you where it was? You could have shown up. Me. Yeah, but Carrie didn't invite me. I don't want to be rude by coming without her knowing. Marissa. But still, we're coworker besties. You should have asked Carrie if you could go. Me. If Carrie wanted me at her b-day, she would have told me. We talked yesterday morning. Convo ended there. Today's now Friday, 5 days since then, and the three of them completely avoid me. We used to eat lunch together in the staff lounge, but now they eat in Carrie's classroom. And whenever I pass one of them during morning duty, they just stare and ignore. The past few days were really rough, and I've cried during my lunches because they were my support system since I started teaching. I genuinely thought we were friends, but now I'm just rethinking about everything. Am I the asshole for not going? Update. Earlier today I sent a message to both Leslie and Marissa telling them how I felt. Leslie left me on read. Marissa sent me this text in verbatim. Okay, is that how you feel? After everything that I did to help you when you were struggling? Don't talk to me at work. Later Carrie asked if she can call me. According to her, Leslie texted the group chat that I was going, even though I wasn't invited? So Carrie reserved a spot for me at her birthday dinner. When I didn't show up, Carrie took it as me ghosting her. She was upset and told everyone else what happened, hence the silent treatment. I told her that I never got an invite and our previous conversation didn't imply that I was attending. We kept talking for a bit, and in the end Carrie needed some time to think about the situation. Will I continue being friends with them? No. I'll be cordial, but keeping it strictly work-related. I'll have to find some better friends. Melting face. Too long did not read. Coworker planned a party that I wasn't invited to. I chose not to go, but another coworker lied that I was attending. Everyone thought I bailed out and gave me the silent treatment. Lesson learned: don't trust some of your coworkers. Workplace drama is not worth it. You weren't invited, so you didn't go. And even if you were invited, that doesn't make you an asshole. Be careful though. I think someone is stirring the pot here. And I don't think it's op. Not the asshole. So the person hosting the party specifically didn't invite you despite having ample opportunity to, and they are all upset at you for not going, following perfectly normal and acceptable societal norms? You don't need to rethink anything. These people are not your friends. Fuck that. There's a saying, your work friends are just that, work friends and not outside of work. Key your distance from work buddies in the future. Friendly is okay, but don't let your guard down. These gals sound like mean girls from high school that didn't mature. Honestly, you should talk to Carrie about this. Let her nip it in the bud. I'm sure she won't be happy. They're trying to force someone she didn't invite to go to her party. Babes, girl, I am so sorry. Why are teachers who are supposed to be examples acting clique, i.e.? You did the absolute right thing. I don't care who told me when and where if I wasn't invited. I wasn't invited. Period. It sounds like to me that there's an awful lot of backstabbing, two-facing gossiping going on. I know they were your support, but I think you need better friends. And if you can manage it, don't let them see you're upset. Not the asshole. They're annoyed that you didn't show up, but probably would have equally had something to say if you had showed up without an explicit invite from the party girl. Damned if you do, damned if you don't. If anything, it sounds like you were almost being tested by Carrie on the day to see what you would do. Work friendships are tricky. Maybe it's time to take a step back from them for a while. Am I the asshole for not helping my sister with her debt after she made bad decisions? I, 29M, have a younger sister, Sarah, 24F, who has always been irresponsible with money. Growing up, she'd blow her allowance on random things and never learned to budget or save. I tried to give her advice over the years, but she never listened. Fast forward to a few months ago, when Sarah came to me in tears saying she was drowning in debt. She had credit card bills, personal loans, and even payday loans just to get by. She said she was struggling to pay rent and was about to lose her apartment and car. At first, I wasn't shocked but was concerned. I told her I'd help her come up with a plan to get out of debt, but I wasn't going to just give her money. She then begged me for a loan, claiming she'd pay me back soon. I told her no. I didn't want to enable her bad financial habits. I offered to sit down with her and create a strategy to pay it off, but she didn't like that response. Now, she's asking again, saying the situation is even worse. She claims she's learning from her mistakes, but still wants me to bail her out. Our parents think I'm being too harsh and selfish for not just helping her out this one time. They've always been the ones to step in and cover for her, and I'm the one who's always tried to teach her responsibility. But I feel like if I give in now, she'll never learn. I'm torn. I want to help, but I don't think it's my responsibility to fix her financial mess when she hasn't made any real effort to change. Am I the asshole for refusing to give her money? Not the asshole. I told her I'd help her come up with a plan to get out of debt, but I wasn't going to just give her money. Is the correct response. If she was genuine about needing help, she needs to accept the help she's offered. Her refusal just underlines that not giving her money was the right move. You'd only temporarily alleviate her situation before she ended up in the same place with you, also worse off for it. Not the asshole. You have offered to help. If she won't accept it, that is her issue. If parents don't like it, they can help. You could also hook her up with consumer credit counseling, so they can negotiate some of her debt down. She might take that better than your help, and they have relationships with credit card companies. Your parents can give her the loan she wants, the one she will never repay. Not the asshole. Not the asshole. Bro, you're not a bank, and it's high time she learned that money trees don't exist outside of Animal Crossing. Tough love is sometimes the key ingredient to adulting recipes. Stick to your plan to help her strategize rather than just emptying your pockets into the black hole of her spending habits. Not the asshole. Hooking her up with consumer credit counseling would be my suggestion for how she can get herself unburdened. Her problems are something she needs to recognize and address. Sadly, based on your description of your sis, it really doesn't sound like she'd even make it past the first interview. If she was willing to follow the rules of the programs they set up, CCC can change your life. A bankruptcy attorney is in order here. They'll reduce the debt to a much easier to manage single payment and see to it that she doesn't lose the house. I'd suggest that, ultimately, it's just not your responsibility. Especially since she likely won't pay you back. Not the asshole. ETA, I'm assuming OP is in the US. If not, I may be way off base. You're still not the asshole though. Am I the asshole for refusing to babysit my sister's kids for free anymore? I, 28F, have been babysitting my sister's, 35F, 3 kids, ages 4, 7, and 9, for years whenever she needs a break or has work commitments. I love my nieces and nephew, and I understand parenting is tough, but it's getting to a point where I feel like I'm being taken advantage of. At first, it was occasional, but now it's almost every weekend and sometimes even during the week when they're sick and can't go to school. I work a full-time job, and my weekends are my only free time to relax or catch up on personal things. My sister, however, assumes I'm always available, often texting me last minute to drop them off for a few hours, that turn into entire days. Recently, I told her that I'd be happy to continue babysitting, but I'd like to be compensated, even if it's just a little bit to cover my time. She got really upset and said, family shouldn't charge family, and accused me of being selfish because I don't have kids and don't understand what it's like. I feel guilty because I know she's a single mom and struggling, but at the same time, I feel like my kindness is being taken for granted. Our parents think I should just help out, because that's what sisters do, but I'm starting to feel resentful. Am I the asshole for asking to be paid for babysitting? Not the asshole. I have a feeling it's not actually about the payment but lack of respect for your time though. I would convey that to your sister, giving her the benefit of the doubt that she doesn't realize how it impacts you, but no matter what you do, you're not the A. If your parents have a problem, they can babysit or pay for the babysitter. I would just not babysit for her anymore. You are entitled to your free time. She decided to have children, not you. They're her responsibility. Why aren't your parents, their grandparents, watching them? Since family helps family, they need to step up. Not the asshole. If your parents think that, let them do it. Your time is your own. It isn't owned by anyone else. Not the asshole. I hate the excuse, you don't know what it's like, when it's given after someone literally has had your kids for days on end. Like maybe you don't know the constantly 24/7 days on end, but you do know how it is to take care of these kids because you consistently are days on end. I always feel bad for asking anyone to babysit my 1-2-year-old. My brother loves hanging with him, but I know he's exhausted after he leaves. He won't take my money, but your selfish sister should. I get she needs time to herself, but that's not at the cost of you. I'll say this. Just stop babysitting. Payment is a weird hill to die on because in the end, it seems more about her getting a break at the expense of you not getting one. All you did was give her a different point to focus on here, so just not the best move. She's not gonna use pain as a way to value your time, she's gonna use it as a way to call you greedy. No is a complete sentence. I'd refuse the next time she asks. I would not break if she offers payment, she'll make you the bad guy if you accept. You need to set a line, she needs to deal with her own kids more. Not the asshole, you aren't co-parenting but are being treated like one.